Hey friends, Sean here, Mr. Hero Support Guy, your friendly neighborhood guardian of the good life. Want to share an article with you real quick that can give you an example of why it's important to step into our power to improve situations and act as a guardian of the good life in our own day-to-day lives in those small little ways that we can do. Sometimes they might require a little risk and a little sacrifice, but that's why I call it living heroically, right? Just being a good person is nice, but sometimes in order to improve a situation, you have to take risks and sacrifices. And the police provide examples of that on a regular basis, right? Here's an example. So this article is from Blaze Media, written by Paul Sacca on September 10th, 2022, and it describes a guy doing some very bad things in Phoenix, Arizona. Here's a picture of him. Got all geared up and went out and hurt a bunch of people outside of a hotel. And sadly, people died, and then he died at the end of that event that he created. And so, first thing I want you to know is that him going out and hurting people on purpose is an example of villainous behavior, right? It's not just my opinion. I don't just dislike people or make stuff up, right? This guy is objectively harming others. It's clear, there's evidence that he is going out on purpose to hurt people. And so that is what I mean when I say villain or villainous. And when I describe that we don't want to act like that, right? We don't want to do things that are harmful, even emotionally harmful, socially harmful, psychologically harmful, and definitely not physically harmful. And so we reject that way of doing evil because we can see that it's objectively bad for us, right? Human beings have an innate drive to want to be well and do well in life, and somebody going out and hurting people is not helping that to happen, right? It's hindering us from being able to live our lives. So the good news in this story is that somebody went in and intervened on the behalf of the citizens there and stopped this person from hurting people uh, any further. And the people that intervened are the police. So the police were acting as guardians of the good life when they went in and stopped something threatening from continuing to happen, something dangerous. They stopped something dangerous from continuing to happen, and they facilitated safety as a social experience for the human beings, the living beings that lived in that area. And so, even though that's the police's job, it's an example of what's really all of our job. Whether you're a mom or a dad or a grandparent or a worker or a pastor or a congregation member in your church or a teacher in a classroom or a kid, as long as you're old enough to understand what influence is, then you have a responsibility to use your influence in a way that is constructive and catalytic, in a way that builds up and moves forward progress in your own life, and on behalf of yourself and others, right? Because the guy that played the villain role in this story, he disregarded his own humanity and the humanity of others. And that allowed him to go out and do these bad things. That's my opinion, right? Just as a person who observes stuff like this. And I also have worked in the behavioral health field for 14 years. And so, what I understand is that we all have the power to influence situations, but we don't all use it in ways that are constructive and catalytic. Some of us use it in ways that are destructive and derailing, like this guy did. So, I'm thankful for the police in this story who facilitated the social experience of safety so that people could have emotional well being and not have to worry about someone trying to hurt them any further, right? So, we can all be like that in our day to day life in small ways when we choose to intervene, even if it's a little bit risky and might require some appropriately uh, healthy sacrifices. So, guys, hope that helps you to understand a little bit about why it's important to engage in lifescape management and to see yourself as someone with the power to influence situations and to use that power wisely. Hope you have a great day and a great life.